All right, good morning and hello, everybody. Welcome to our week number 4 Twitch live stream for my intro psych online classes. I see a bunch of you getting logged in and joining me. Everything looks good on my end, but someone let me know in the chat. Can you hear me and see me okay before I keep going, just to make sure that everything is okay on your end? Wait just a minute to make sure, but hopefully everything is coming through all right. And I hope you're all surviving this awful weather that we've been having. It has been so incredibly warm. Okay, great. Thank you so much for letting me know. Yeah, it's been awful. It's been so hot, and I am so over this 103, 104, 105 degree weather. And it's wild. I don't know if any of you watch our weather. Normally it doesn't matter because it's usually pretty similar. But we actually have like a really decent chance of rain on Friday night and Saturday. And it's going to drop way down into like the 80s. It's wild. What a big shift. So anyway, I hope you're hanging in there and surviving that. And we are getting close to being halfway through our class. It's a very quick 8-week class, and we are, halfway through week number 4 at this point. So what I want to do today is spend a little bit of time just talking about some reminders for this week. We are in the middle of weeks 3 and 4, everything due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So I want to make sure that you're feeling good about all of that. Of course, I'll see if you have any questions for me. I will give you the extra credit question so you can get the 2 points for joining me on here. And then that should pretty much kind of wrap us up. So let's go ahead and head over to Canvas together. And if you have any questions at any point, feel free to put those in the chat and I would be happy to answer them. But if you scroll down a little bit here, we are in week number 4, right in the heart of week number 4. And so weeks 3 and 4 are open for you right now. And everything from week 3 and week number 4 is due by this Sunday night, the 11th at 11:59 p.m. And today is a very exciting day. If you didn't know, it's the beginning of the football season. I am very, very excited to have football back and get going on that. Super exciting. My kids roll their eyes when I mention it, but I am very, very excited about it. And if any football fans are out there with me right now watching, hopefully you are too. But again, all of the things for these 2 weeks due by Sunday night. So let's take a look at week number 4. Last week when we met, and I'm sorry to have to change the day on you for this week. I will try not to do that as much as possible, but with the holiday weekend, I had to move things around a little bit. But last week we were looking at consciousness and learning, along with discussions 5 and 6 and assessment number 1. This week, in addition to that, right, we're looking at memory and cognition, discussion 7 and 8, exam number 2, and then of course you have the extra credit opportunity for joining me today. So for this week, you're going to want to do kind of the usual stuff. If you haven't done the materials from week 3, make sure you get going on those. But read the chapter in the ebook on memory and the chapter in the ebook on cognition. You're also going to want to, of course, read through the lectures for both and watch the lecture video for both. So remember, for example, if you click on the lecture, it's going to give you that 5-page lecture format. You have the objectives and summary, which you can read or listen to. Some beyond the book stuff. This one, a little bit about deja vu, kind of a special memory topic. Some in pop culture references, lots of movies about memory. And I have a few of them and a little clip here from Finding Nemo to watch on a great memory loss character. The 4th page is always the key terms in review. So here are all the terms you need to know from this chapter for the exam. And then finally on the application page, a little bit about how to improve your memory. I did make a little video on this that is on YouTube, and then a little bit about state-dependent memory. So remember, with each chapter, you have 3 tasks. Make sure that you read the chapter in the ebook, that you complete the lecture that I have posted, watch the lecture video, and those 3 things together will allow you to understand the topic, and all of that information. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit helpful for you. You also have 2 discussions that are due this week. So discussion number 7 and discussion number 8. So if we click on number 7 really quickly, remember with each one of these, you should always watch my little brief introduction video. Make sure that you're answering all my questions in a really detailed way to get those full 13 points for the questions I'm giving you. Read through a minimum of 5 of your classmates' responses and reply to one of them to get those 2 points, and altogether worth 15 points. So with this, you definitely need to watch the video so you can get this little 28-digit sequence. But I've given you kind of like a fun memory task for this week. I hope you get a kick out of it. I think it's kind of a fun thing to work on. And if you were taking this in person with me, you would have to remember it without me being able to see if you had notes or anything like that. So you would have to have no notes. But what you'll do is you watch the video above. I'm going to give you a 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. And I'll also let you know how I memorized it if you'd like to kind of use that as inspiration. And then you're going to answer some questions. If you needed to retain this 28-digit sequence and you had no way of writing it down or recording it and had to rely solely on your memory, how could you maybe hold on to it for a matter of seconds? And what if you needed to hold on to it for a matter of days? Now, I wrote on here several methods for encoding and retaining information were discussed in the lecture. You really should be choosing a different one for seconds versus days. So be sure to provide me with some specific methods, how you would do it. If you came up with a story, what is that method called and what is the story? If you are going to do something else, what is the name of that technique and what would you do? So make sure you're really describing that to me so that you get full credit for showing me that you could hold on to it. And again, if you create a story or like a rhyme or you chunk it in some way, make sure that you show me how you would do that. Then you're going to describe in detail 2 specific strategies discussed either in the lecture or the book that could be helpful for you to use when you're trying to study for an exam. And then do you have any personal tips for memory that you would like to share? What strategies do you use in your personal life to help you remember any kind of important information? So all of discussion 7 is about memory. So again, watch the video. Let me know how you would memorize that 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. I'm sorry if you hold on to it way longer than you would like to. I will probably have that in my head forever, and it's totally meaningless information. But I think it's a really kind of fun way to push your memory and apply some of these techniques that we're talking about. Discussion number 8 is all about cognition, right? In chapter 8, cognition, I love that I got the opportunity to talk about escape rooms in there and problem solving and thinking about that kind of stuff. So that makes me happy to do. But discussion number 8, if you click on that, for discussion number 8, same thing. Make sure you watch my little video. Make sure that you read through classmates' responses, reply to my questions in full detail, really show off that knowledge and comprehension. So for this one, you're thinking about the topic of intelligence. In your own words, how would you define intelligence? You can write out a definition. You could describe attributes or behaviors that you tend to think of when you think of intelligent people. What are some things that you can do to increase your intelligence? This is something that I definitely talked about in the lecture and the book, so you can bring those elements in to this. And then a really big part of this is this last bullet. There are 3 elements that a test should have to be considered good or worth using. What are those 3 characteristics or elements or properties? And I really want you to explain them. Explain what they are. You might use an example to help highlight that you understand them. But that's really the biggest part of this discussion, highlighting what is a good intelligence test, what are those characteristics, define, describe, and maybe even give me an example. Okay, so those are the 2 discussions for this week. And again, if you haven't done the materials from week number 3, you obviously still have that left to take care of. But once you've read all 4 chapters, done all 4 discussions, you also have exam number 2, kind of following that similar format of 4 chapters and an exam and 4 discussions for every 2 weeks. So remember that all of the exams are on the ebook site. So you'll be taking that on the ebook location site. And if you click on this, it'll remind you of that. It'll say, don't forget, you have to take it here, and here's a link to the ebook site. In case you don't have it, remember it's on the home page as well. But I've also given you the study guide. So just like last time, if we open this up, Remember that when it comes to the study guide, if it is on the study guide, it will be on the test. If it's not on the study guide, you don't need to worry about it. So this exam number 2, is all about chapter 5 on consciousness, chapter 6 on learning, 7 on memory, and 8 on cognition. So make sure that you know all of these terms related to consciousness, anything here related to learning, here related to memory and cognition. If it's on here, you will see it on the exam, and if it's not, you can let it go and you don't have to study it. And many of you did beautifully on the first exam, got really great scores. If you wish you had done a little bit better, maybe prepare a little bit more. If it were me, I would write or type out all of these terms and make sure that they were familiar, I understood them, and that way I don't have to go find it during the test. I don't have to like, oh, was that in the book or the lecture or the video? If you have each one of these written out or defined, you're going to be in great shape when you go to take the exam. Also remember, don't wait till the last minute, just in case we got some storms coming this weekend and some wind, maybe. So, internet outages, power outages, those things are definitely in play during the fall. So make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time, that you have good internet connection, and set yourself up for success. Also remember that I will never trick you. So if something seems unclear, read it again, but I will never trick you on an exam. So most of you, as I said, did really, really well on the last exam. So if that worked for you, prepare the same way. And if you wish you had done a little bit better, now is a great time to kind of play around with that. Okay, so those are the big things for this week. And remember that everything from weeks 3 and 4 is due by this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And you can always click on this little wrap-up checklist down here at the end of those 2 weeks, and it'll remind you to read the chapters, read the lectures, watch the lecture videos, complete discussions 5, 6, 7, and 8, take exam number 2, self-assessment number 1, and then there was an extra credit last week and an extra credit this week. Okay, so that is a kind of everything that I would like you to do, and I'm going to put that here in the chat. Remember that all materials from weeks 3 and 4 are due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So I'm going to put that here in the chat. I also want to remind you that our next Twitch live stream will be on Tuesday next week, which is September 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, so just a couple of things to keep in mind. Let me put that in here too. Okay, I don't do so well with talking and chatting. So our next Twitch live stream will be on Tuesday next week, September 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning. So back to our normal day and time. We don't sadly have a holiday next week, though it is, if you have in-person classes, Tuesday is a campus-wide flex day. So there isn't in-person class on Tuesday, which obviously doesn't affect us, but just as a heads up in case you do take classes on campus right now. I'd also like to remind you, and I will remind you of this every week, if you subscribed for free, it's only good for 30 days. So what you might notice is that some of you have lost the little football cake next to your name. And so if that happens and you're looking at the chat, for example, like Joseph, you only have the little crown next to your name. So if you notice that you've lost the little football icon, you will need to go back and resubscribe for free. And a lot of you, because we're in week 4, are probably coming up on that. So you can resubscribe as many times as you want, but you do unfortunately need to do it every 30 days. And again, thank you so much for those of you who do this. I have 130 of you in these 3 classes, and there's only about 25 of you who are subscribed, but those 25 of you make my life way easier. So if you have the opportunity to do this and figure it out, I do really greatly appreciate it. It saves me an incredible amount of time. And if you're watching this later, you can still do the extra credit and get those points if you have subscribed, because I can still download your participation. So I'd be happy to show you how to resubscribe if any of you are confused. Maybe I'll show you at the very end, and that way if you want to go, you don't have to hang out for that. But otherwise, let me give you the Twitch extra credit question. And it's kind of a short and sweet little live stream today, unless there are any questions for me, which I will definitely leave time for here at the end. But let me give you the extra credit question for this week, and it's related to memory, something that is one of our topics for this week. So the Twitch extra credit for week number 4 is, what does it mean? What does it mean that our short-term memory can hold 7 plus or minus 2 pieces of information? What does it mean that our short-term memory can hold 7 plus or minus 2 pieces of information? And when you're ready to answer that, you'll go back to Canvas and you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 4, because we're in week number 4. Remember that you can still do the one from week number 3 if you haven't already, as long as you, either were attending that one live or you're subscribed. That way I know that you're here. But click on week number 4. And I say I have a question. I'll do that in just a moment. And oops, that's recording. Sorry, I looked down and then looked up and I couldn't do it. So if you click on optional extra credit number 4, up here at the top, you can click Start Assignment. And then that'll open up this little text box where you can type your response. And then when you're ready, you can hit Submit Assignment. And that will give you the little confetti burst. And let's see, anything else in there today? Just confetti. Sometimes there's little things in the confetti. But that'll give you those 2 points as long as you get the question right. If you answer this early in the week, I do grade them throughout the week. So if you get it wrong, you'll have an opportunity to redo it. But definitely get going on this. Those extra credit points will add up for you and take the pressure off an exam or take the pressure off of a missed discussion or something like that. Someone said, I've been trying to figure out how to sub with Prime, but it says it can't be used. Oh, no, it's okay. And some of you might not have Prime or it's too complicated, and that's completely fine. But if you do have the ability to do it, it obviously saves me a lot of work. So thank you for letting me know, and I appreciate you trying. It is a little bit tricky. It's a couple of steps, but once you have it set up, it's pretty easy to renew. Okay. Are there any questions, thoughts, comments, anything at all for me while I have you all here live? This is a wonderful opportunity to ask me if you do have any questions. What I can do otherwise is I can show you really quickly how to resubscribe for free in case your Twitch subscription has expired. But if you don't have any questions, then you are welcome to go. I'm going to show you, I can't show you on my channel, but I will show you on a channel that a football channel that I follow. Of course, I have the football channel, right? As we get into a daily football, I love playing on FanDuel and things like that. So I'll show you here. Oops. So if you were on my page, right? So if you pretend that this is my Psyched with Setmire page, notice right here, there's that purple bar, and you had to click on this bar before, but if you click on the down arrow, it's going to bring up all these options, and all the way at the bottom, there's the option here where you can click Use Prime Sub, and if you click on that, it says subscribe with Prime for free. And again, it's only free for a month, so you have to redo this every month, so just keep an eye on it. If you notice right now that you don't have that next to your name anymore, you can go back and do that. But you can click there, and that will allow you to do it and resubscribe for free for another 30 days. And again, if you can't figure it out, that's totally fine. You're joining me here live anyway, so you're okay. All right. And again, I'll hang out for a little bit here. If you do have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, it's going to be a nice and cool, like 98 degrees today. Like it's been 105. Sad when 98 feels like it's more reasonable, but it's going to be about 98, and then maybe some rain this weekend. Football tonight. A lot of fun things. Target has their Halloween stuff up. It's definitely coming together as fall today. So I'm very excited about that. I hope all of you are hanging in there. Make sure you get going on the week number 4 materials and week 3 if you haven't already done them. I'm going to minimize my video just so I'm not staring at myself here. But if you do have any questions, I will be here for a little while. And you can feel free to put those in the chat. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will hope to see you next Tuesday morning for our next live stream. Thank you so much for those of you who are here with me live. I know I can't see you, but I really enjoy having your company, and it's a nice opportunity to interact with you. Yeah, have a wonderful weekend to you as well, and a wonderful day. It's a little cloudy today. I'm loving it. I'm loving this this shift in the weather. I will take it. We'll definitely take it. Yes, me too. I am not built for heat, so I'm very excited that it is starting to cool off a little bit. I'm not a big fan of hot weather. Thank you too. Thank you for being on here with me. And again, I am still here. If any of you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, of course, you're welcome to go. All right, everyone. It looks like I'm pretty much the only one on here. It looks like there might be one or two of you still kind of hanging out. If you think of any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, and I will hope to see you all on Tuesday.